Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live training webinar, helping you get the most out of your Artwork Archive account. While we wait for everyone to join, please take this time to introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know your name, where you're from, the type of art you make. We'd love to meet you all. If you've been with us for a while now, you can also tell us how long you've been using Artwork Archive. It's also a great place to meet other artists in the chat. And if you have any technical questions, you can put that there as well. Also take a moment now as we're getting settled to wrap up anything, grab a notepad. You can also log into your Artwork Archive account and follow along with us. Whatever helps you helps you feel the most present for this webinar. We want to make sure that you get what you need out of it. And we will be taking questions at the end. So when you're following along, make a note of what you want to ask, and we will get to all of your questions at the end. And before we get started, and as we wait for more people to file in, we're going to launch a little poll here to help guide some of what we're presenting today and get a feel for what you're most excited to learn about. So I'm going to launch that, and you can tell us what features you're looking to understand more about and how we can help you learn more about your account. So I'm going to raise that right now. All right. Quiet in the chat, but I see you all here. Oh, Karen, hello. 50 years in the making of selling art in Canada. Nova Scotia sounds beautiful. Oh my gosh, a herd of deer, of course. That sounds amazing. Hello, Karen, and Francis is joining us from Evergreen, Colorado. We're in Denver, or many of us are in Denver. I'm in Denver, and we're joined by Cassidy here. She's in LA. So Evergreen, Colorado is very close to us. Both beautiful places. All right. And Belle from Little Rock. Hello, thanks for joining us today.
Little Rock. Said Little Rock. Sorry, I'm from Tennessee originally too. So I love seeing my neighbors.
A lot of personal connections here. Another Colorado, Boulder, Alyssa, hello. So we'll leave this up for just a few more minutes. In the poll, if you haven't answered the poll, please do now. A few housekeeping items before we jump in. This webinar will be recorded. We're always asked if the webinar is recorded. Yes, we're recording this webinar, and we'll send it to everyone who attended or signed up for the webinar within 24 hours. So check out your inbox tomorrow. We'll send you a recording along with the slides and resources that we mentioned and the chat file. So you can follow along with some of those questions and answers in there as well. We have saved time at the end for your questions. So you want to use the QA button at the bottom to ask any questions that you have about specific features or your specific account or your specific situation in archiving or cataloging. So again, use the QA, not the chat for that. We will be pulling questions from the QA at the bottom, and we will try and get to everyone's questions. But if we don't get to yours, please know that you can always reach out to us directly at team@artworkarchive.com or by clicking the little blue chat button in your account. And we also try to, if we don't get to your question during the session, we do try and reach out and answer that question for you after the session has ended. Another few things to note before we get started. If you need access to closed captioning, you can click live transcript, which should also be on the bottom of your view in Zoom today. So then you click show subtitle, but also note that this is only available on the app version of Zoom and not if you're viewing in the browser. So let's see. A few more hellos, Susie and Chaz, hello. Carrie from Wisconsin, also originally from Nashville. Got some Nashville people. And Marina in London. Thank you for joining us all the way from London today. So great. We have a small group today, which is really great. for you all to really take this time to learn and get the most out of this time to dive into your account. So please don't be shy, ask questions, ask specific questions. We're here to help. It seems like a lot of people have questions about everything or are interested in most things. There's, who would say public profile and then additions beyond that. I'll end that poll so you guys can see here, share those results. All right. Okay, well, with that, let's get started. I'm Katie. I'm the head of content and marketing here at Artwork Archive. I work with artists to grow their businesses through articles, how-to guides, online courses like this. And I'm also a ceramic artist here in Denver, Colorado. I'm joined by Cassidy Cole, who is our product education and marketing lead. Also here at Artwork Archive. She helps to train new and existing clients on how to use the platform. And she is a visual artist based in Los Angeles, California. Hi, Cassidy.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Well, it's great. We're so happy to have you on the team. And so if you guys aren't familiar yet, a brief history of Artwork Archive. We began in 2010 as one of the first cloud-based art inventory systems. Our aim is to provide artists with the tools you need to get organized and manage and grow your business. It's our passion to build the most intuitive, powerful, and reliable tool for art management so that you can spend more time in the studio. Right now, we're serving artists in over 120 countries. And this is apparent from the chat. We have so many great artists all over the world in London and Australia. Mesh, hello. So it's great to see you all here. And we love to meet the artists that work on the platform as well. We like to think of Artwork Archive as an extension of your studio, more like a virtual assistant. So you can access all features of your account on any device as long as you have access to data or internet connection. There's no need to download a special app or have special software or having to update your software. So we've chosen to keep Artwork Archive on what's called a responsive framework to optimize this for all devices and keep it mobile friendly. And the main reason for this is that it allows us to update and improve the site, which we do quite often with recommendations from artists just like you. So we're constantly taking your feedback and updating and improving the site based on your feedback. And then there's no need to have new updates. It'll just always be added to your account. New features, once you're in, you get all the new features, which if you've been with us for a while, you might have noticed a lot of new features getting added over the years. So as a reminder, this is our 201 webinar for getting the most out of your Artwork Archive account. We're going to be focused more today on in-depth features that you can use once you've uploaded your work and explored the platform just a little bit. So if you're brand new to Artwork Archive and you haven't created an account yet, you're definitely welcome to stay here. But we also recommend signing up for the 101 course, which getting started webinar, which will walk you through the basics of setting up your account, including how to upload your artwork and jumpstarting your account. You can sign up for that webinar on our website under the webinars section in the resources tab, which is in the left menu on your account. For today, though, we're going to be taking a look at what to do once you've uploaded your artwork into the account. So we're going to be focusing on how to organize and share your work and using features like the public profile, understanding invoices, utilizing the CRM feature, managing contacts, and understanding additions. We have a lot to cover here today, but as always, we're here to help. So if anything gets too confusing today or you have questions about the webinar, please don't hesitate to ask because the session is for you once again. We want you to feel comfortable and confident using your account and understanding just how to leverage these powerful tools to manage your art. So once again, if you have questions today, we'd love to hear them. We've left time, and if you haven't seen yet, please use that Q&A at the bottom. But with that, once again, welcome. We're so happy to have you all here, and I'm going to hand it over to Cassidy, and I'm going to share my screen so that we can get a look at an example account, and I'll walk you through some of the features that she's talking about.
Thanks, Katie.
All right.
So happy to see everyone here. And also I saw Carrie originally from Nashville. I moved to LA from Nashville. So that's such a fun connection. Such a great city.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
We can
All right.
see it. All right. Sorry, I have some gorgeous bells in my background too right now. So sorry if you hear that. I am not in Europe. I'm in LA, surprisingly. But I love the bells, and they're just going to highlight the beginning of our session here. Okay, so you've laid the foundation of uploading your work, and you feel comfortable, and you've explored some of the main features. Your inventory is feeling organized, and you're already feeling lighter because all of your artwork is now safely archived in your account. Now what? So we're going to talk about how you can share all this information and work directly from your artwork archive account. One way is by creating a public profile. So you can access this feature by clicking on the My Profile at the bottom left of your main dashboard. And by default, all of your information and images in your account are private, but you can choose to take advantage of this feature by easily adding your profile to the Discovery section of Artwork Archive to gain more visibility and share your portfolios with clients more easily. So this is what our Discovery platform looks like. We highlight a featured artist, and also you can search by artist, search by location. This is a really great feature that we find a lot of artists enjoy. So from the main dashboard, or the profile, where we are in My Profile, you're able to customize your public profile, including your own artwork archive URL that you can send directly to clients or include in your social bio or wherever you'd like to share. And you can include as little or much information in your profile info as you want. So you can upload a profile image, add links to your social media accounts or personal artist websites, and even choose to include a personalized footer with copyright information. You can customize it a lot. And in the About section, you can include your bio, artist statement. You can upload a PDF of your CV or link to one of your resumes already uploaded in your My Doc section. We find a lot of artists love having all of this information all in one place. So you can add as little or as much as you want, like we said. In the public settings section up here, it's where you can customize exactly what information people will see about your artwork once you share your profile. So here's also where you can make your profile public. And it will then change the status next to My Profile in the left-hand navigation bar from private to public. So you always know if it's live or not. You can choose a unique URL and even password protect your public profile. So only those that share that password, that you share that password with, can gain access. But keep in mind that if you do use a passphrase protection, your profile will not show up in the Discovery platform or any Google search results. You can decide how artworks show up on your public profile page here by choosing from a list of different sorting options, including title, price, creation date, etc. Or to get even more specific, once you choose which images you will be showing on your profile, you can choose custom order. And then in customize ordering, you can specify exactly what number in the order the piece will show up. So this is really handy for those who know exactly how they want their pieces to show up on their public profile. So going back into our public settings page, you can decide if you want to include prices, collections you've created, and even any additional images you've uploaded for each piece. So if you have an installation shot of the image or a more close-up view, you can have the option to show those images for each piece, which is super handy. Under display settings, you can allow viewers to search through your work by enabling a search bar, and decide how many pieces per page you'd like to show. So over in your contact settings, you can enable viewers to inquire or purchase. So this is down below right here. Yeah, so you can see, you can allow viewers to inquire about a piece or purchase a piece directly from your public profile. And by clicking either button, they will then be prompted to fill out a message or a purchase request. And you'll see that message appear in your artwork archive inbox, where you can then create an invoice and include payment options for debit, credit card, PayPal, if you have that connected. And just to clarify, we actually don't have any shopping cart or one-click checkout options because most of our artists are selling one-of-a-kind works of art and really like the opportunity to form a relationship with the client so that it's easier to work out shipping details and cover all the questions that come up in that process. So we'll show you what that looks like a little later on. Now we'll go into the public pieces section. So up at the top, you'll want to go to public pieces. Here's where you'll choose which images you like to appear on your public profile page. So you can make your entire inventory public or private with just a click, which is super handy, or you can use our filter feature to help narrow down which pieces you want to add. So if I want to make, all my available work public, I'd go to status and then choose available, and then come down to make all public. So that immediately makes all the pieces that I have available marked in my inventory viewable on my public profile. And to be more specific, you can then pick and choose down at the bottom and simply click the button on the right to change from public to not public. Okay, so let's go up and check out My Posts. So the My Post section is where you can share upcoming news and events and updates with your audience, and anything you post here will show up on your public profile, similar to a blog. You can share past press releases, featured articles, or blogs all in this section. You can filter to see your post or search through here and then click the Actions drop-down arrow to edit. So we can even, you can edit them all right there. You can preview, you can unpublish, you can delete any of your posts, and you can even click View News Page to preview what this page looks like. So we'll give you a preview of this is what it would look like on your public profile. You can give updates to studio events, exhibitions. It's just nice to have it all in one place. And of course, you do not have to have this show up on your public profile either. It's just an option. So finally, let's go to the Integrations tab. Here you'll find the universal embed codes. So this enables you to display your public profile or a specific collection on any custom website built with platforms like Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, etc. So anywhere you can add in your own custom iframe. How you do this is by copying this code below, or this code right there. Yeah, this code, and placing it on the page on your website where you would like it to display. It will then mirror whatever changes you make and automatically update on your website from your artwork archive account. So there's no coding necessary, which is amazing with double entry. Don't have to worry about it. And for a more step-by-step informational guide on how to do this, you can scroll down to the bottom of this page and you'll find the additional resources here for some of the major website providers. We've seen artists use this feature in really interesting ways, and we actually can show you some examples here so you can see how the embed will actually look. Like I said, we really love this feature because it helps eliminate having to do double entry. And while we do have a number of people using Artwork Archive's public profile as their website, it actually wasn't our intention when creating it. So the public profile is an easy way for artists to showcase their work, share who they are as an artist, and amplify their existing web presence. Because we truly believe having a website that you have 100% control over versus a one-size-fits-all template is really important. So we recommend looking at the public profile as a complement to that site. So these are some examples. What we love about this profile in particular too is she does a really good job of adding collections So if you go up to this top, these blocks are actually, she's embedded specific collections from her public profile. Also, I'm sorry, if you can hear my dog snoring, that is also a feature of this webinar today, apparently. He is sleeping really well right now. So once you've completed all the fields that you've, chosen, you want to show on your public profile, and you feel like you're ready to go, you can always preview your public profile by clicking View Profile in the top right-hand corner, which is great. So this is how it looks. This is a public profile example. Now let's see what happens when we click an available piece. So this is where you'll find the inquire and the purchase buttons that I mentioned earlier. So let's say I'm interested in purchasing this piece. So I'll fill out a little bit of information and click purchase. So the only required fields are the name and email. And you have to do a very complicated little robot test. And then when you click purchase, we'll come back to our main page. So we can do a purchase example if you don't mind showing that, Katie. Crosswalks, will she get it? She got it. Tractors. There are no tractors in that one. Oh, I think you'll need to fill in an email. So once you click purchase, I'll show you. And if it's not working, we can just go ahead and go to the inbox. So when we come back to our main page, this message will show up in your inbox on the bottom left-hand corner. And when you click into it, you'll then see any new messages, including purchase requests, piece inquiries, notes from a shared online viewing room, or just general messages. So here is Katie was just showing the purchase request that we got from that piece. This is what that will look like. So everything that comes into your profile will populate here. And what is great is you can create an invoice directly from a purchase request sent. So let's click the purchase request at the top that we received, and then we can click create invoice. So we did create an invoice already. So this is where that create invoice section will be. And it's so nice because you can include, PayPal payment button. You can also allow partial payments. You can add in different, you can do, everything's populated here on this invoice. And you can see all the shares that you've shared it with. It's all here, right in your profile. So let's go to the invoices. Yeah, so you can see it's all just populated. I love the logo that you can add in on top as well. So in the invoice tab, if you click next after send invoice, you'll be taken to the invoice tab where you can include any other details, choose, accept, all of that. So this invoice will remain in the income tab as well as attached to the piece record and the contact record. So you created a contact from this person who sent a purchase request. This is incredibly handy. And just note that if you did not choose to accept payment via PayPal, you can add outside payments once they arrive here. So back in the main invoice page, you can see the payment status of every invoice sent, as well as the invoice date, the due date, and total amount. So now remember, you can send invoices for whatever expenses you need here, not just artwork. So examples include teaching, framing costs, installs, proposal sketches, whatever else you need. You can create a new invoice from the top menus. Yes, here's all the expenses category, the revenue category. It all can populate right here. You can create a new invoice from the top menu and even check on, and you can get your contacts. So this is people that you've added into your CRM. Send a new invoice to them. Another great thing about sending invoices from your artwork archive account is that it automatically saves to your revenue and expenses page. So there's no need for double saving or trying to search your emails for records, which we all know can be what keeps us procrastinating on our taxes at the end of the year. So you can see your revenue total and your expense total and combine it all together. And you can even print a report right from revenue and expenses. So let's go ahead and show the revenue and expenses tab and show where you can print. There's where you can print and download a page to an Excel or a CSV. You can make your accountant super happy. Okay, so we've shown you a lot. That was a lot of information. I just want to check in and see how everyone's feeling. So send us a note in the chat if you're still with us. Anyone currently using the public profile feature on your account? If so, share your artwork archive URL in the chat so we can check out your page. And I see we do have some questions coming in, so I'm going to look at those.
So yeah, we do have some questions. I'll start asking them. This is a good time to take a little question break. We have one from Chaz coming in. Does the order impact how work is displayed when a collection is exported to your web page? And correct me if I am not right about what you're asking, but if I believe you're asking if you're using the embed, does the order then reflect the same on the embed? And yes, it will impact the order. So any changes that you make on your artwork archive public profile, if you're using the embed, it will be reflected and updated on your embedded profile. Dory's asking if this is recorded. Yes, it's recorded. We'll send it out to you tomorrow. So that's an easy one. How do you add an invoice not created in artwork archive? And for that, maybe you can clarify what you're looking to do there. If you're looking to just record and have that information available and on your artwork record, I would suggest having that and then attaching it as an additional file on your artwork here. So if you have, if you use a different product, you can just attach the invoice here and keep track of it. And Amanda, if you can clarify your question as well, I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Is it possible to have a pre-order or discount tab? If that's about the invoices, you can add on the invoices, you can add a discount. If it's about, but let me know if you're talking about the public profile, because that would be a different answer. But we can show you here when you're editing the invoice, when you make your sale. You can add a discount here in this line and a commission percentage if it's from a gallery that you need to add a commission, and then any sales taxes or any information like that, along with notes, and that will be added to your invoice as well. Okay, we have another one from, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Okay. This is another question. Thanks for all these great questions, you guys. Do artists keep 100% of the sales profit? Yes. So any sales made on Artwork Archive goes directly to you, which is different from a lot, if not most, all other platforms. So we take no commissions on your sales. So you are in charge of that. And then all of that goes back to you. If you are using PayPal, the standard PayPal fee does apply, which I believe is 3%, but you can use a credit card processor or another payment process in on the invoices section. Karen is asking about the collections, adding the collections tab to create the galleries on the website. So I will dive into that one, and then we can go back and we'll answer some more of these at the end, but keep the questions coming. This is so great to hear all of your questions. So if you are looking at if you go to your integrations here, what you'll want to do is you'll notice this embed a collection at the top. So if you switch that, you choose from the drop down. If you have collections already on your account, they'll be populated in this drop down. So I'll select Bright Series, and then this will change my script. So what I will do is then copy this for the Bright Series, and I can add it, as you can see on Tanya's website. She added that link to both a button and then this unique page. So now each page is just that collection. And embeds can get pretty tricky or in the weeds. And we're so happy to help. Every website and situation is a little bit different. So if you find that you're running into any problems, please do reach out. We're happy to help troubleshoot and get you set up. We want this to work for you and be able to integrate with your website. All right. All right. And then is the shipment agreed between artist and buyer? And yes. So that's another reason that we leave it on an invoice system instead of a purchase now system like some other websites have, because shipping varies so much, especially with fine art. So it's not a set shipping rate. So you'll get to talk to that person, know where they are, have any specific creating questions or information. So it's not a set shipping rate. You will set that once you already have that conversation going with the buyer. All right. Well, we're going to take a pause from questions so we can jump back in. But as I said, keep them coming. This is a great way for us to know what you're thinking about too. So,
yeah, these are some great questions. And also, I know when I watch webinars, I tend to have a bunch of questions, but I don't really know what to ask. So when other people ask questions, it jogs things in my mind that, oh yeah, I want to know the answer to that too. So it's so helpful when you ask, because you're probably answering questions for someone else who might have them as well. Okay, let's jump back into the platform. So next, we're going to talk about CRM and contacts. So it can be really hard to keep track of all the moving parts of your art business, especially when it comes to the professional relationships you develop throughout your career. How many times have you asked yourself, I know, as an artist, how many paintings did this client buy? Who did I share that inventory report with? Where is that commission contract? What email did I send it from? And we know this because, like I said, we are artists too, and we completely get it. So at Artwork Archive, everything is relational. We really focus on that. And that's why we developed a fully integrated CRM tool to manage your contacts. The C in CRM typically stands for customer, but we like to call it contact relationship tool, because artists manage relationships with far more than just customers, including gallerists, framers, advisors, shippers, so forth. So the contacts feature is really intended to help you build new relationships, strengthen existing ones, and generally work smarter when it comes to making decisions for your art business. So when clicking contacts, yeah, you'll see your entire list all at once in the main contact page. And the more you add, the more you can utilize features such as groups to further segment your contacts into categories like gallerist, past buyers, or potential leads. So this is really handy. VIP collectors. It comes in handy when you want to share an online viewing room or a specific report, like a portfolio page, to a group of specific people at once. So once you're on the main contacts page, you can always filter and sort to further organize your contacts for your own view too. And a good thing to note is we actually can do imports if you have a large list of contacts that you'd like to add into your account already. It's a free one-time service that comes with our Artist Master, our Collector Premier, and all organizational level plans. So we're able to offer the service to our other plans as well for an additional fee. So if that sounds interesting to you and you have a bunch of contacts elsewhere in a spreadsheet, just reach out to our team and we'll be happy to help you with that and give you more information. So let's look at a profile to show you what it will be like once all the information is filled in. So we will go to our favorite, Antoinette. I've included an image to remember what she looked like, which is a very helpful way to help yourself out if you're going to be running into people at fairs or openings. You can see that there is also a sharing history for every report I've sent, so there's no need to try and filter through past emails to remember. There's notes that I've quickly added from past encounters, purchase history, including expenses like framing for pieces she bought, and additional documents like commission contracts that we've agreed upon that I can reference if anything comes up. What's amazing is that most of this information was automatically added to her contact record when I did it elsewhere in the platform. So it keeps track of every kind of communication that you've had with this one contact. Another feature that we love in the contact records is the ability to add reminders. So say that I wanted to follow up with Antoinette about a potential project that she wanted to work on together. She mentioned it at lunch and I just want to touch base in a week. So I'll click add reminder and it will automatically be added to my schedule. And what's great is you'll get a schedule reminder every Monday in your email with all the upcoming events. So you don't have to miss an important deadline, an important meeting. It's really a great tool. And you can integrate it directly with your calendars, those specific reminders into Google Calendar, Outlook, iCal, whatever you use primarily. So one last thing, you can also always export your contacts either with a contact report or Excel and CSV for easy printing and referencing. And you can create address labels for sending exhibition announcements or shipping work. You can do that at any point too. So if you are using another system or you want to export these contact records, put them into your email platform, whatever you want to do, you can always do that right here in the contact section.
Yeah.
So,
I did want to jump in, Cassidy, just for 1 second, because we had a question about importing contacts from a spreadsheet. And just like you can export your contacts into a spreadsheet or CSV and upload those to mail systems like MailChimp or Constant Contact or any kind of mailing platform. You can also import those from a spreadsheet on the master plan. It is a complimentary service that we provide. Otherwise, it's a one-off service that we provide, and you can contact us at team@artworkarchive.com and we can get those imported for you.
Yes. Thanks, Katie. That's such a good reminder. Super helpful for people who have been gathering contacts lists for years and years and years, and you just have a ton. We are so in line to help you with that. So I'm going to show, you can share reports with contacts too. So you can go to the reports tab, click on the report to share. So we're going to share, maybe not an income report, but maybe we can share an inventory report, and then share and choose from your contacts who you'd like to include. Of course, you can share with multiple people who do not have a contact record by just including their emails here too. And you just need to separate it by commas. You can also send to that specific group that we mentioned earlier. And in the message, you can let people know what they're receiving. And there you go. And then you hit send, and you can also send yourself a copy of the email. You can also share an online viewing room using this same format as well. So building new relationships and strengthening existing ones are key to the success of an artist. And the contact section is really where you can do both. So we wanted to help carry some of that mental load for you with this tool, so you're not clouding your creative process. And if it feels too overwhelming right now, don't worry. We have articles and blogs answering any questions and outlining how to do what I just showed you and more in the help doc section of our website. And we also have a recorded webinar dedicated just to the CRM feature that's worth checking out that we can share the link to. So lastly, we wanted to take a look at one of the features we get asked about quite a bit, and that is our additions feature. So you can find additions under the artwork tab in the left-hand menu. And first, let's go over the difference between additions and reproduction. So An edition in Artwork Archive is considered a group of original editioned artworks. This could be etchings, lithographs, fine art photography prints, bronze castings, etc. And then a reproduction in Artwork Archive is considered a copy of the original work, like posters, print as a service item, such as pillows, garments, or cards, and more. So you'll want to use editions if you need to record and track information about your editioned works. And you'll want to use reproductions if you have a large number of different editions to record and you don't need to build out a full piece record for each of the prints. So you'll also want to use the editions feature if you want to include specific edition numbers on inventory reports or most other reports within Artwork Archive, because editions have all the functionality and power of an individual piece. So each edition actually does count towards your total artwork count in your plan, and reproductions do not, because they're not saving all of the record history, exhibition history, all of that. So reproductions, they just save kind of the necessary information that you need, but editions really have individual piece power. So if you have a piece, well, actually, let's create a new edition. So we'll take a closer look at what's going on here. So if you have a piece you want to nest the edition under, say an original sculpture that you've made cast from, then you can select it here. And if not, you can just leave this blank. So you can also choose between open and limited editions and enter details on how many pieces and proofs will be made. So we'll put in our name of edition, which I think is the only field that is absolutely required. You can include any descriptions or notes and then fill in the data that will automatically be added to any new pieces made in the edition set. So that's where it's limited, open, proofs, artist proof. So for open editions, you can add and subtract editions to this set as you please, and the editions will be recorded sequentially within the edition number. And then for limited editions, you'll want to enter the total number intended to be created for the whole edition, and then the total number you have created thus far. And you can always add more later by clicking edit. You can also add proofs to your edition. So proofs are any extra prints pulled by the artist to proof the edition. So printmakers use this feature to add artist, printer, handler proofs outside of the actual number count of the edition. And you can record your unique artist proofs or printer proofs through the editions feature right here, like I just showed you, and you can select an image. So the proofs will also function as unique artwork and count as a piece, but they won't be included in your edition number. They'll be separate. So adding information in all of these sections allows you to save time entering multiples, as all of these fields will then be applied to all the edition records within the set. However, all of these bulk changes afterwards, you can still go and edit each edition if there's specific information about that particular print edition, which we'll show you here in a minute. So you'll see here that there are two fields. Yeah, there we go. What a beautiful picture as well. So back in that's where you can go in and edit all the specific details for each edition, which is so handy. When it was created. This is really, really handy for ceramic artists who are always making one-of-a-kind pieces. And there's something actually special that I wanted to show you as well. So when you go back to creating edition, you'll see that there are two fields for the names of your editions. So the first field is private to you and your records only, and it's really helpful if you're making multiple editions of different sizes. So you can note that in the name so you can quickly find the correct records on your end. And then the second one will be the public name that people will see when it shows up on your public profile or when you send it. So that's a good clarifying example. And Katie is our edition master. So if you have any questions about editions, you came to the right place.
That's true. Yeah, no, what Cassidy is saying is absolutely correct. And there are so many different ways to use edition. So if you have questions about that, please let us know. But this is one of the best ways to differentiate what is your additions within your account. And the other thing I did want to mention here is that you do really want to be careful. Do you want to make sure that you're including that first, the total number, and then the initial pieces to create? I feel like people always have questions about what that one means. So that means if you're creating a run of 100 prints, but you've only pulled 15 of those prints so far, you would put 100 up here in the total number, and then you would put 15 as the initial records to create. And then, as Cassidy mentioned, the proofs are outside of the number. So when you create the limited edition here, you will see that you have the information 1 out of 100, 2 out of 100, but it only goes to 15 so far because that's how many we have created so far.
And Katie, there's something that I wanted to see up at the top here of this page. When you add additions, so this is the number, what's the total number you can see adding the addition? So when your additions to add, yeah, so you're adding, I want to add 50 more additions. That's what that means, right? Like you're adding 63 more additions here.
Yes.
Versus you're not adding addition number 63.
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be the total number that you would be adding to what you've printed so far. So you can see now that there are 78.
Amazing.
Out of 100.
That's something that can get people a little confused sometimes. So I wanted just to clarify that for everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. So moving on.
Back to you.
Great. All right. So amazing additions. We love additions. Very excited about this feature. And you can view your additions, obviously on the main tab. You can also view them in your main piece page. So on your main dashboard. And you'll notice that the additions are nested. So if we find, you can search for them in the filter tab and find your additions. And then you can see that some of them are nested under the main title of the edition. And by clicking into them, then you can see the rest of those prints within the set. And you can also filter to view only your additions here, or you can also filter to not see your additions in this view. So sometimes people want to hide the additions because there's so many of them. You can do that as well. So you'll only see, individual pieces. So once again, I just want to clarify that unlike reproductions, additions have the ability to have a full piece record and the capability to be added to any report within Artwork Archive. And just like any regular piece, they have full piece power, unlike the reproductions who can't be added to reports, etc. So that was a lot of information. I just want to make sure that everyone has all that they need with the features that we've covered. And our hope is that you feel more comfortable and familiar with all the features in your Artwork Archive account. So this webinar is for you. We want you to get the most benefit as you continue to organize and manage your career. So with the time we have left, we want to open it up for any questions that you might have still. So send those in the Q&A box and we can look through them, and feel free to comment too, something that you learned today or something that you're excited about, because we love hearing that feedback and want to know what you found interesting. If you had any, aha moments about public profile or anything going on, we would love to hear that from you as well. So let's look at questions and see if there's anything that we can cover.
We're getting some good questions. I'll kind of filter them up. I've been looking through. So we have one about how should you add the additions? Should you do it one by one as you sell them, or as you print them on demand? And so what I've seen work for artists who are working within editions is to add them as you create them. So if you create them all at the same time, add them all at the same time, and then you will create the sales record after it's been sold. And all that information will be in there. But if you're an artist who doesn't create the whole print run at the same time, or all 100 mugs or something, you can add 10 at a time. And I would add them as you create them so that that information is right on top of your head as you're entering that into the piece record. All right. In an edition, when I have an enhanced version, can I change to that image for that number? I believe you're asking if you can change. So Karen, please correct me if I'm wrong. You can change the image. So when you're creating an edition, you can add the one image for the whole edition set, but you can then go in and right here, you can see they're all the same image, but I can add a different one. If this print seems to be just a little different, or you want a higher resolution image, you can come in and you can add a different image here. So say that. And now I can update that. And now this print, it's still in the same grouping, but it has a different image. You can also, another thing to note, as if you guys don't already know, is that we always recommend uploading your highest resolution image. We accept images up to 30 megabytes per image. So what you can do if you aren't already familiar is when you're in this piece, so Karen, so when you want that high resolution image, you can always, it's downsized for the record, but you can see the original image files right here. So you can download that high resolution or share it or view it here. You're welcome. Okay. Alice is asking if she adds all of the data information in the platform and then you don't keep up with your membership annually, what happens to your account? Or can you buy the program and own it? So another great thing about this platform is that you can export your data at any time. So we truly believe your data is your data. We don't own that data in any way. And so if you find that you aren't keeping up with your account, you want to move to a different account, you want to go back to a spreadsheet, you can always go into new report here and you can export your entire artwork catalog to a CSV or an Excel file here. And it's just a great idea to back up this data anyways and have multiple versions so that you always have a copy of it on hand. Okay.
Francis, I'm not sure I understand. Can I add stories to each artwork? So if you want to clarify that question, I'd love to know more about what you're looking to do.
I think they actually had to leave, but
okay.
Also,
could an album of the work be emailed to an art consultant? So yes, you can share so many things. So you can share a private room, you can share a collection as well directly with an art consultant, and it's a super handy feature. Let's show you can share it directly from an inventory report. A private room though is what we would recommend, because if you're sharing it with a consultant, you can actually share and they can comment and favorite pieces too, and you can protect it with a passphrase. It's a really great feature. So this is what it would look like when you send it to them. They're able to, favorite a piece and say, this is my favorite one. Yes, this is what we'd like to keep. And then you can also see those messages and favoriting right from inside your artwork archive account.
Oh, I see. Okay. So Francis is still here. That's great. Yes. So we do recommend sharing your inspirations and your story behind each artwork to help build the provenance record for each artwork. And I'll show you here. So there are two different fields. There's a notes field and a description, and notes are private to you and description is public. So if I'm editing this piece here, where I would add that story is in this place here. So if you want to make the description, you would add that description notes here. And then if you had any notes that you don't want to have available, you can put them in these notes section. So that's only for your information, but I would put the description here. And then when you're looking at the discovery platform, that story will then become available if you choose to make it public as well, so that people can learn about each piece when they're viewing it, which is a great way to show the inspiration behind the work and any information that you want to talk about the process or what inspired the work. Okay. Can you choose which fields are visible in the private room, or are all fields potentially available to be visible in a private room? Great question. Yes, you can create a new room. And so you can see here, we'll go through what this would look like when creating a new room here. So you can say new room. And just like a lot of the other features, the reports, the public profile, there are optional data settings that you can include or not include in that room. And so you can show your price, wholesale price, frame size, paper size, show video links or that collection if it's sold, a purchase link. And then this is a cool one if you guys aren't familiar yet with the image file option. So you can allow people to download the original image that we were just talking about. So if you're working with press or a gallery that would want the high resolution image for press, you can check this box and then they would be able to say, oh, great, I can now, instead of emailing over those big files, they can just download it directly and you don't have to go back and forth over email or have to attach huge images to each email, which can be really burdensome, cumbersome. So then you have all these other settings as well to order the piece, show if it's published, and then this is where you would choose each of your work. So I would come down here and select which ones I want to add. And I would say move and then save that room. Okay. Do emails that you send through Artwork Archive also get to a regular email as a copy? And as Cassidy was showing, when you're sharing, I'll show you right now. So when you go to share here, you'll want to just click this button here to send yourself a copy of email to your inbox so you can have a record of that as well. Otherwise, they are all in your inbox within Artwork Archive, but it will go to your email as well. Okay. So asking the question, I thought this is asking, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but how do you add an invoice not created in Artwork Archive? So I'm not sure if you're trying to add the invoice as a record or actually have it be paid through Artwork Archive and show as a record, but in order for it to be automatically added as a sales record and within your accounting system in Artwork Archive, the invoice does need to be created within the system, and it makes it really easy to not duplicate work so that you can create the invoice, get paid. That will go directly into your income tab, and you'll get a great sense of your income and expenses throughout that year. But if you have another system or you sell something and you want to keep track of that invoice, what I do recommend is adding that invoice in the additional files here. So you can add any kind of PDF or document from your desktop. So I would just take a picture of it, snap a picture of it, and add it to that artwork that sold so that you can create a record for that. So you would still want to mark that information as sold. So that would come up in that information here. And then keep a track of the invoice. Okay. Someone deleted an edition on accident and it deleted the whole thing. I would reach out to us directly to see, depends on how long ago this happened. If something like this happens right away, we can usually get a backup, but you do want to be careful when you're deleting something. You do get a warning. So saying, are you sure you want to do this? It will delete the associated record. So I would just be careful when you're doing this and don't click OK here. But reach out to us. We might be able to, depending on how long ago it was.
Okay, we have, I think, 1 minute left.
Okay. Here's one. Is the public profile available to only people who use Artwork Archive? If you're talking about creating a public profile, you do need an Artwork Archive account, but Discovery is available to anyone searching the web, and it has a great SEO boost for anyone who uses the public profile because of how Google's algorithm works. So if you have a public profile, it's a great additional way for people to find you if they're searching for ceramics or your name specifically, or what you've tagged your work as. So anyone that goes to artworkarchive.com/discovery can see all of that work, and they don't need to be an Artwork Archive user to request or favorite or view any of the works that you're sharing or that are on Discovery. But we do have, as well as a platform for artists, we're a platform for collectors and art organizations as well, who view Discovery, and then we share out artworks and artists weekly in our newsletter to them, as well as on social as well. So it's a great way to kind of get in front of collectors and have them see your work as well. All right, maybe time for one more?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, we have questions about e-commerce as you're on your website, and should direct to Artwork Archive for purchase. How do I link the item to Artwork Archive to inquire or purchase? So this is up to you. We do have purchase links. So if you do want to add a direct purchase link in your Artwork Archive, if you have Shopify or another direct purchase platform, you can add a purchase link, which I can show you. So you would add the link here, and then when someone goes to purchase on the public profile, they'll be directed to that place to directly check out in a cart. If you have more questions about that, I know that we're running short on time. So if you have more questions or you want to just follow up about your question, reach out to us. We'll both be available on the product today in the following hours. Okay, I think and then we can get to your questions. So just use that little blue chat button at the bottom and try out some of the things we talked about today, and let us know if you have any questions or feedback once you try out some of these new features. But thank you again for taking the time. As you can see here, there are a bunch of resources that we'll send out along with these slides and the recording, so you can do a deeper dive into what we talked about today, or learn more about your account. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. That was great. Thank you, Cassidy, for the great presentation.
Thank you. That was so fun. Yes, please reach out if you have any questions. We are always here to help.
Okay. All right. Bye, y'all.